All right, class, now we're going to figure out how to do a detail on our stairs. Okay, we've got to detail our stairs. So I'm going to take a section view. I'm going to draw it across the bottom part of the stairs here. This is the bottom part. You know that because it's, if you go this way, it says up right here. So up. And then you're up this way. And I'm on level 1. Okay, that's where we want to draw it from. So on level 1, I'm just going to draw a section view right through the stairs, just like that. I'm going to bring this back to about right there. Okay, then I'm going to access that section view, and I'm going to adjust the view, bring it down to where you see all of the stairs. And you need to, in this particular view, if you were doing a straight set of stairs, you wouldn't have to do this. But doing this particular set of stairs, we are going to have to hide the floor, and we'll actually kind of redraw the floor into place when we get ready to use it. All right, and I'm going to right click on it and say, let's see, hide and view elements, hide my ceiling, right click, hide and view elements. I'm also going to hide my railings. So right click, hide and view elements in the other set of railings, right click, hide and view elements. All right, now of course I didn't intend to draw a set of stairs that were closed, what do we call it, closed stringer. Okay, that's what these are. I'm going to show you the difference. Go to Google here, show you the difference between a closed stringer set of stairs and a not closed stringer. Now even if you did want a closed stringer, for this detail you would have to have an open stringer, or at least hide the stringers. I think you can hide the stringers in Revit, and then you would have to sort of redraw them in place to where you can still see the zigzag part of the stairs going up and down. But anyway, we'll cover that subject when we get there. But we're going to just build a open stringer set of stairs. Okay, so I'm going to look up here, open stringer stairs. All right, so these stairs you see here in these pictures, those are open stringer stairs. Not that we're going to actually draw anything fancy like that. Let's go over here to images. And here is a closed stringer. Okay, so it's got this flat panel right here that goes up the side. That flat panel will have the mounting components routed into the stringer for you to fit the wood to make your steps. Okay, that's one way they do it. Another way they do it is they just place a flat piece of wood on it, onto the stringer, to cover up the zigzaggy staircase part. Like this one, this is a open stringer because it's straight and does have a decorative placement or a decorative layer of wood right here. But that would be considered open stringer. And so would this. This will be considered open stringer also. We're not going to draw anything quite that decorative. This is actually a picture of a closed stringer with the treads and risers already routed into the wood. Okay, so that's what would hold the treads and the risers. Now some of these other, I don't really see one like I'm looking for, as far like on this one. I don't want to click on it like that. So yeah, well anyway, you can probably barely see it, but this one has a closed stringer on it also, and this one is probably more like just a panel that is placed over the stringer, just to completely hide the stringer. This is another example of an open stringer, but it also has more of a decorative appearance to it. Okay, yeah, so that really shows you the difference between the closed and open. Actually, here's a before and after. This is pretty cool. So this is before, when it was an open stringer design. Then of course, I guess they went back and remodeled this and made it a closed stringer. Okay, so let's go back to Revit, stop talking about stairs and stringers. And I'm going to select my staircase, and I got to go into edit type, and I'm going to change some things for this stair. All this I'm going to leave the same. I'm going to come down here to where it says run type. And I'm going to click right in here where it says 2-inch tread, 1-inch nosing, and 1 1/4 inch or 1/4 inch riser. I'm going to click on there, and then I get this little square right here that I can go in and get a little bit deeper into my editing components. All right, so I want to start here, and maybe I want to change the material of my stairs, and I'm going to go ahead and do that just to show you how to do it. So I might want to change all that to wood. Like I might want the what am I looking at here? I'm looking at the tread material. The tread is the part of the stair that you step on. Okay, I want that to be softwood lumber. Or actually, I would make it a prettier, not just plain old building lumber, but I would make it something really nice that can be sanded and smoothed out and either stained or painted. Hold on. Excuse me. The riser is going to be a little different. I'm going to use plywood on my riser, and for here, I'm just going to use the plywood sheathing in Revit, but I would use like a face quality plywood, meaning that it would have a really pretty sheen on it, or a really pretty veneer over the top of it that makes it look really pretty, and I could stain it and it would look like stained wood and what have you. Okay. Now, tread thickness, okay, right here, this just says 2 inches, and I'm not sure exactly what that's probably all together. This is what I'm going to do with it anyway. I use that to calculate the wood that I'm going to put on top and the veneer, if there's like a flooring type veneer that's going to go on top of it. Okay, and I am going to do that. Okay, so and let's see, let me think here. I might change my mind on that. Okay, yeah, let's change our mind. Let's don't do softwood lumber. Let's just make plywood. Okay, so we're going to make that plywood sheathing also. All right, so what I'm going to do is plywood sheathing is going to be 3/4 inch plywood plus whatever my flooring material. I'm going to use the same flooring material that's going on my floors. Okay, the floors that are like that you walk on and stuff, first floor, second floor, all going to be the same material. So it's going to be the flooring material is going to be like a veneer, a laminated veneer. It looks like wood, but it's really made of like paper pressed together. So if it's 1/4 inch veneer plus 3/4 inch plywood, then I want to account for 1 inch right there. So that's going to be my tread thickness, 1 inch. My nose length, I'm going to leave the same at 1 inch. Nose profile, I'm just going to leave it what it's already set at. And I'm going to go down here to my risers. My riser thickness right here, they've got it at 1/4 inch. Boy, that is a very thin riser. I'm actually going to change that to 5/8 of an inch. Okay, that's about double, a little bit more than double the size. I'm using that one I am using a face plywood. Okay, for that riser, like I talked about up here. Okay, and I'll probably use the same thing for both of them. Let's see, riser to tread connection, extend riser behind tread. No, I'm going to leave that just like it is. And then we'll click apply and OK. All right, now, of course, let's see, I'm looking at my maximum riser height and minimum tread depth. All that's set automatically. Run width is 36 inches or 3 feet. That's normal. Okay. Calculation rules. You can change that depending on the code in your area, but most places in the U.S. have the same code as far as stairs are concerned, which is going to be according to this right here. Landing type, non-metallic, because it's going to be made of wood. Right supports. Okay, here we go. Supports. This is our stringers, our right support and our left support. We've got two right here. All right, so stringer, right now it says close. I'm going to change it to open. Same thing with the left support for stringer. I'm going to change it to open. Let's see, carriage width. That's the, let's see, 2-inch width, 2-inch width. That's the thickness of the wood that's being used, I'm pretty sure. I don't need to change that in this view because unless I was doing a frontal detail, then I would need to change it to represent what normal lumber would be, which would be 1.5 by whatever. But here it says 2 inches. I'm going to leave it like that because I'm not doing a frontal detail on this. And I was hoping, of course, they don't have it in here, but yeah, typically we're using 2x12s to do that. I can't remember if Revit actually sizes it according to a 2x12, but I don't see anywhere that we can change that as far as the riser being made of 2x12. But it does say 2-inch tread. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing that can affect that. Let's see what is under carriage width. Okay, and that's 2x7 structural. Depth on landing is 7 inches. Okay, that part we could change. Total depth 1 inch, width 2 inches. Okay, let's go back and click apply and okay. Okay, so all those changes have been made to our stairs. Now what I want to do is measure the stringer. This is going to be, see, I'm going to name this. This is going to be just call it stairs. What? Okay, this is what I want to measure just to make sure. So that's what it's talking about by 7 inches. I don't know of any lumber that comes out to exactly 7 inches unless you rip it. Okay. Stringers typically are using 2x12s. So it's actually, or anywhere between a 2x8 or a 2x12. I actually wanted to use a 2x12, but these are 2x7. Well, actually, that is just the platform itself, the landing itself. But even still, I don't know of any 7-inch lumber that I can make a landing out of. So I'm going to go back and click on your stairs again, edit type. And this will save some of my drawing. Okay, and I'm going to edit, nope, that's wrong, edit. Click here, or no, was it click down here? Carriage width, carriage open, 2 inches. Okay, so click on that, you get in here, there's that 7 inches right there, I think. I'm going to try this. All right, so I'm going to use 2x8s on my platform. So I want to change this to 7.25 inches. And see if that makes a difference. Apply, okay. Apply, okay. And I probably, that might not even change anything. So let's see what it did. Yep, that fixed it. Okay, so now it's 7.25. So that's actually the size of 2x8. So that's going to save me a little bit of drawing down here. Okay, so here we are. We got our stairs. We're going to start detailing it broadly. So we're going to detail the overall, or we're going to start detailing the overall first, and then we have to go in and create 3 callouts. So we got call out here. That's going to be call out 1. We call out 2. Call out 3. All right, so let's start right here. Now what I want right here is I got to build like a floor system made of 2x8s for this platform. There are some things I need to hide here. This is a riser right here, and you see this other piece coming out that really doesn't belong to anything. So I'm gonna draw a masked area. So I'm going here to the region. I'm going to change it to masked region. I'm going to change my thin lines to invisible lines. And I'm going to mask. I'm going to come in here because this is my riser. This is the line that really has no purpose. So I am going to hide it. So just over that. And click the green check mark. And I hit it. Okay. This line here has no purpose, so I'm going to hide that one too. So I'm going to start here because I want to hide it all the way up into here. Now I'll have to kind of go back and draw some lines to replace it. or to you know, fix some of the lines that are going to be hidden. Draw this back to their green check mark, and that's hidden. Okay, so now we can start drawing. And what I'm going to do is I need to have my stair system has to sit on a wall, so I have to support it with a wall here. Typically, you're going to have a wall already over here on this side. This would probably be hopefully an exterior wall, but definitely a load-bearing wall. And this would be attached to that wall. Here, I have to build a wall to hold it up on this side right here. So I got to think, how am I going to do that? Okay. First, I need to go ahead and build my floor system. And I see another line here I'm going to have to hide. So let's do that real quick. Let's hide this angular piece of line right there. And I'm just drawing an oddball line. All right, so that one's hidden. All right, 2x8 floor system, line tool, thin lines. And I'm going to draw 3 inches this way because I'm drawing two 2x8s. Then come down 7.25 inches. And I got it crooked. Is it still 7? No, it's changed a little bit. So 7.25 inches, there we go. Go back to the lines, draw it over this way, and then draw it up to right here. Now find the center, draw it down to here. Then put your little X things in here to mark your lumber, your cut end of your lumber. And actually what these are going to be, kind of like a rim joist. Or actually what that serves as, it serves more of like a header beam. Okay, now I'm going to take this line here that I cut off. I'm going to kind of rejoin all that. I'm just going to draw it all the way across to make sure it gets across. That line's got to go. So we're going to draw over that line. Okay, lines cannot intersect. All right, we'll reconnect those two. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of this one and move it 16 inches over here. So with the selection tool, I'm just going to select what I need, which is like just one of those pieces of lumber. Copy, go to the center, click, move it 16 inches. And what is that's 1, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, that's 4 inches right there. Okay, now this piece right here, which is already there for us, I believe that is measured correctly. I kind of don't think so. Yeah, it's 2 inches, so that's not correct. We need it to be 1.5 inches. So again, I'm going to hide this line. Okay, I'm going to fix that and fix this one. Okay, now I'm going to draw a 2x8 over here. Go over 1.5 inches. Draw down. That messed me up. Draw down, and then fill it in. Okay, so there's our floor system. Now we got to draw the piece that's going to hold up our floor system. That's going to be a wall. So I'm going to draw a 2x6 wall right here. I'm going to go ahead and fix that line first. So coming in right here, now that's going to sit right on top of that 2x6 wall. I'm going to draw this 5.5 right there, and then I'm going to go in here and make sure it gets up where it needs to be. Zoom in real close and use your keys to bump it down. Or you might even be able to snap it. Let's see if we can get it to snap. There we go, it snapped. Okay, there's the end of it right there. If you hover over it, you can see the end of it. Okay, but you got to get another line. Find the end of it right there. Come all the way down to the floor. Okay, come over 5.5 inches. And then back up to here. Oops, I don't know what keeps happening with that. Okay. And then we got to draw a double top plate right here because this is a load bearing wall. So 3.5, or actually, I'm sorry, it's supposed to be 3 inches. So again, I'm drawing 2 pieces of lumber, so I'm going to draw this 3 inches long, which is 1.5 inches plus 1.5 inches is 3 inches. I know that because I know my math. Find the center of it, probably find it over here. Okay, so that's 2 double top, or say that is a double top plate. Okay, then I go down here, put a floor seal. 1.5 inches, come on over to here. Okay, so that wall has been built. All right, we're going to come right in here. There's 2 ways to do this. This joint right here where the riser, not the riser, but the stringer connects to that wall into that floor system. One is to use a ledger, just put a ledger down there. I'm going to do both. I'm going to put a ledger and a hanger. So I'm going to put 2 things in there, steel hanger and a ledger. Ledger is wood. All right, what does that look like? Okay, I'm going to show you. They call them truss hangers or joist hangers, rafter hangers. There's like several names they go by because they actually do all of them. We are going to have ours is going to be set at an angle, which they do make one at an angle, but I can't find one on here, any pictures of any. But these are basically your hangers. Okay, so let's get a bigger view of one. How about this? So something like this. This right here, this part nails, and those are nail holes. They've already got nail holes in it for you. So that'll nail to that double top plate right there. All this will nail to the double top plate. Okay. Actually, this particular one isn't going to be exactly appropriate for our job, but it's similar. And then this part here cradles the either the joist or the stringer or whatever it is you're putting together. Okay, so that's what we're making. And we just represent it. We don't have to draw the exact product. We're just going to represent the fact that we have one there. So we come here, just draw it down at an angle. Let's see. Oh, right, it doesn't matter what the angle is because, again, you're just representing it. That's about at 120. I like to get something that's perfect, like 121 degrees. Looks good. All right, so that marks your metal, your steel hanger. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put a ledger down here, and it's going to be a 2x6 ledger. So I'm going to draw this down at 5.5 inches. See, I got a line, drawing it down 5.5 inches, and then I'm going to draw it over to the side. The thickness of that, which is going to be 1.5. Draw it up here and then follow that angle. Okay, because I'm going to have them rip that at an angle, and I'll show you what that angle is. You can always just measure it by doing this. So it's a 58.77 degree angle in that perspective right there. But you don't have to put that measurement there. We do, however, need to come over here and change our scale. This one is 1/2 inch 1. This drawing should be at 1/2 inch 1. Okay, so go here and finish our ledger right there, right here. Oops. Pull that over just a little bit more, right there. Okay, and then let's see, we're going to come down here. We're going to place a nailer on the floor. We're going to make it a 2x6. Come up 1.5 inches. Draw over 5 1/2. Right there. Then put your little crosses in there. That's what everything's going to nail to at the bottom. Okay, next we're going to come in here and we're going to build this part. It's going to be our flooring system. And it's going to be a truss and some drywall. Okay, so first off, we know the top floor comes to this line right here. That's the top of our second floor. And we want to draw that over the top of that last riser. Okay, and our flooring material we know is going to be 1/4 inch. So we're going to do an offset over here on the modify panel. And we're going to offset 1/4 inch. Okay, and then of course we're going to have 3/4 inch plywood under that, so I should have 3/4 inches left. Yep, I do, exactly. Okay, so we're going to draw that, and that plywood will come over that riser as well. Go ahead and close the ends. Now, of course, that's just a riser there. That's not really a structural member. We're going to put some structural stuff down here. But first thing I want to put in here is that floor joist. And the floor joist is going to go this way. Now, what does that floor joist look like? Okay, this is a floor joist right here. That's a floor joist. Okay, we're drawing it, looking at it from this side over here. Like if we were standing over here, looking this direction, and we're looking right at the end of that floor joist. So that's what we're drawing. Okay, so I'm back, and now I'm going to draw that floor joist in here. I need a line. Okay, so I'm going to draw over this way 3.5 inches because it's made out of 2x4s. Okay, I'm not going to draw all the way down to the bottom because I forgot I got to put some drywall down there. So let's put a piece of drywall down there. This is our ceiling height right here. So I'm going to draw. I'm locked on that level, so I want to use that. Just go ahead and draw up to right here. Then I'm going to do an offset, 5/8 of an inch. So that is the thickness of my drywall. Oops. Okay, why is it not offsetting? Let me try that again. Offset, 5/8 inch. Okay, take this. Draw it back. And bring this back down to here. Back to our line tool. Draw from here to here. Then I'm going to come up 1.5 inches. So I'm drawing the cut end of a 2x4 here. I'm also drawing one here. Okay, now I'm left with this space, which needs to be a structural supportive material for this right here. Now I have a slight problem I just want to point out for you. Between there and there is 1 5/8 inches. Okay, I don't have any lumber that's really 1 5/8 inches. As you know, our lumber is always 1.5 inches, or at least that's what we call it. Now, depending on the amount of moisture in the air and the type of lumber and all that kind of stuff, that lumber can swell and shrink and all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that space, even though I'm drawing a 2x4, which is supposed to be 1.5 inches thick, I'm going to use that whole space to draw one that is in the picture anyway 1 5/8 inches, but we're really going to be representing 1.5 inches. But I just want to go ahead and cover this up. Now what's going to happen on the job site, probably, because it's 1/8 inch larger, which isn't really that much, that will actually benefit our riser by placing a little bit of pressure up against that riser. Of course, if the gap is too big, they would go in and probably put a shim or something in there to shim that up and make it all fit. Okay, so this basically is our ledger, our nailer. That's what our risers are going to, our stringers are going to attach to right there. So we'll put hangers right here as well, but we will not be able to put a ledger. We'll bring this down to about that same sort of angle. And there we go. All right, so I've got all the major components done. I do need to do some annotating to this as well. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and draw my callouts. So if I go to the View tab, there it is, and find my callouts. Where are my callouts? There it is. I'm going to draw some callouts around these pieces right here. That's going to be, and do it in order so that they're numbered correctly. That's going to be number 1. This is going to be number 2. Make sure you get all the important stuff in there. And then this one is going to be, next one's going to be number 3. That's going to be that piece right there. Okay, so that creates 3 sections or 3 callouts, and of course I can just click on the bubble and it takes me right to it. Now before I get onto this, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. It's already 30 minutes. So I'm going to end this video, kind of give you a break, and then I'll start another video where I'm going to detail out the callouts.